going to be calling the series QOBO, Quest of Best of. Um, I'm a recent TCG addict. I really have been enjoying Riftbound. I picked it up in the beginning of this year, maybe January, February. Um, and I've really been enjoying the competitive aspect of the game. My ultimate goal is to hopefully eventually win a best of medal at one of these events. For the time being, I live in the Midwest region. There's a showdown qualifier coming up in August in Milwaukee that I plan on attending, so this will be kind of my preparation log for that. I play Leblanc right now. I was an Echo main in League, so I'm going to switch over to him once Radiance comes out, no matter whether or not he's good. Just got to win that best of with him, hopefully. We'll see. But for the time being, we're doing Leblanc. This is a deck profile, and then we'll get into a little gameplay as well. I'll talk about some of my recent local experiences with her, and then also some of the recorded gameplay I have. Running LeBlanc Deceiver, running Yellow LeBlanc in the Chosen Champion. Fairly standard list for the most part, like 90% of it is standard Hook LeBlanc. Star Spring, Windswept, Aspirants, um, all standard. 8 and 4 split, pretty standard as well. For the units, we're running 7 2-drops. 3 sentries, 3 scouts, and then 1 honest broker. Instead of 3 dignitaries, I switched one over to the 2-drop just to have a little bit more consistency with turn 1 going first. Uh, we're also running 3 Karthus, which makes sense. We're doing 3 mixologists. Currently, we have 3 Vi, maybe subject to change. I'm thinking about it. For 6 drops, we have 3 Rex and 3 Dragons, also standard. And then for our top end, we have 2 Watchers and 2 Heralds. And spells, also fairly standard, I'd say. 3 Sacrifices, standard. 2 Hidden Blade, I'd say is standard. I'm only running 2 Mirror Image in the main board. I have the third in the sideboard. I just really only like seeing this card late game. I think 2 is better. It allows me to run some other cards that I favor over it. And then lastly, Death Grip. I'm a huge advocate of this card in LeBlanc. I think it is so good. I think it helps a lot with dodging stun mechanics. It replaces itself, its reaction speed, it's nice. Doesn't deramp at all. Great card. Um, and then we have the 3 Baited Hook as well. Going on to the sideboard, we have 1 Otacon for the Yi matchup. We have an Ash for a little bit of hand rip. This used to be 2, might go back to 2. We have the 3rd Mirror Image, the 3rd Watcher for aggro matchups. We have Turn to Dust for gear matchups, Aurora, Irelia. We have 1 LeBlanc, 1 blue LeBlanc. This is our going first Chosen Champion. And then lastly, this is a recent addition as well, 2 Safety Inspectors. I think that this card is decent into LeBlanc's bad matchup. I've been seeing some people tucking this into their sideboards, and I like it in theory. You know, it's kind of like a discount Harness Dragon in some ways. You can hook into it. It's like a decent low level target still. We'll see. We'll see. I like it. But without further ado, let's get into some gameplay. So getting into our first game here, just waving, starting the game. Star Springs is our going first battlefield into almost every matchup. Maybe not Yi. Maybe there are a couple instances where you could argue for Aspirants going first. We see here we got a Vex playing Star Spring. They're playing Ravenbloom Conservatory. Getting into the mulligan here. I like to mulligan pretty aggressively for some of my lower end units just because I think they're the best discard target. That reason being that you can pull them out of the trash later on with Glass Mixologist. Um, Especially maybe even pulling multiple units, assuming you have your Karthuses up. So next we're passing back to the Vex. They're pushing in their unit, conquering to 1. They're going to opt to charm in my Black Rose Dignitary, starting to combat. I'll have attacker tag, they have defender, so it's 3-3 right now. The opponent is going to trigger the battlefield. They see a Kha'Zix, they're going to put that to the bottom of their deck. And right now it's an even trade. I'm tapped out, so I'm just waiting to see if he has any further interaction. Maybe he's okay with letting the cat go. But we see here he taps 2 and opts to play the discipline. Makes sense. He's going to win the combat and force me to, or not force me, I get to channel a rune and he'll get his draw and he will pass turn back to me. So right now I'm considering my options. I can either play one big unit or multiple small units. Being that he's purple and green, I know he has a lot of good removal options. Charm, Evelyn, Starcrossed. Um, and him star-crossing my big unit would just set me behind another full turn of development. So I'm going to opt to develop multiple smaller units, choosing the Leblanc from Champion Zone and then the Honest Broker from hand. I favored the Broker just because it has more might than the Bird in the Sentry here. Passing back to him, we're going to see what he plans to do in order to try and further halt my development. But so Vex has a couple options here. I think their best play is to develop the Vex from Champion Zone, just because they know me being LeBlanc Hook, I probably don't have a lot of combat tricks, and the might I have on my board right now is only 6 total. They have 7 while defending, and the cat has tank, so I won't be able to break through. They're also going to pay 1 power to hide a card and pass turn back to me. Back on my turn, we can see that I don't have enough strength on the board to break through Ravenbloom Conservatory, so I'm just going to opt to push into my battlefield Starspring and try and start to progress with my own development. I'm debating which unit to push in with first, just in case he does have Gust in hand. Having the LeBlanc Gusted would be a little bit painful. So he gives me Conquer Point here. I get to trigger LeBlanc Legend ability. I'm going to make a reflection of LeBlanc by discarding the Watchful Sentry. And now I'm considering more options here. I know that I can't break through his board at all, so I'm just in a situation where I want to try and develop my board state for next turn again. I'm going to play out the Scout to battlefield and use the battlefield trigger to push LeBlanc to base. I'm going to push Broker up just for some extra might, and then I'm going to play Vi to my base as well. Back on the Vex's turn, they've got a couple options. They have point tempo right now. They're going to hold to 3 here, so they have point tempo. They don't really have to worry about pushing over to my side yet, except for the fact that by not doing so, they'll allow me to continue to utilize my LeBlanc triggers and continue to ramp my resources. So they might be considering that right now. Otherwise, they might be looking to further develop in base. Let's see what they do here. They are going to opt to tap 2, probably playing out a unit here. Scuttle Crab comes out. Vex gets to draw another one. They got a pretty healthy hand right now. A little worrisome. They're gonna opt to tap another 2. We're gonna see an Overzealous Fan come out on the battlefield, and they choose to pass turn. So I draw into Sacrifice. I'm showing LeBlanc Death Knell, so I get draw 2, and then on hold, scoring to 2, I'm kind of considering my LeBlanc Legend trigger right now. Let's see what I do. I opt not to go for the LeBlanc trigger here, just because I don't think any of those options in my hand are great for discarding for the copy right now, especially just to make a additional bird or broker. So instead, I'm going to opt to push in with both of my units from base. So swinging in for 9, passing priority. Let's see if I choose who to stun with Vi. I'm going to choose to stun the cat just because Vex has Deflect. And I don't want to deramp further right now. Passing priority to him. He asks when he can do his defend trigger. So we're just kind of chatting and figuring that out. Sorry for the cut. After a little bit of chatting and quick Google search, we talked it out. He is going to use his Overzealous Fan to push back my Vi. So the Overzealous Fan dies. Just the Leblanc remains. I have to attack the cat since it has tank. So just confirming that. Trade out, and then Vi goes back to base and exhausted. I get draw off of Leblanc Death now. Still have all my runes up, so I'm considering my options. I think the best course of action is to continue holding this battlefield. Just utilizing Legend ability to start duplicating my bigger body units, especially because I also know I have Hook in hand for next turn to kind of cheese out a free body. After playing the Rex here, I'm just going to pass turn over to the Vex. Kind of waiting to see what they do here. Looks like our Vex is going to pay 1. 1, 2, 3, and let's see what else. And a purple. Gonna opt to play Star-Crossed here, targeting my Vine base and his Scuttlecrab in base. I have no counter spells, so I'm considering letting that resolve. I decide to let it resolve. Send the thumbs up. Scuttlecrab goes back to base. Tap in 2 more, playing back out the Scuttlecrab. Makes sense to me. He's got 3 more runes, deciding what he wants to do with them. Probably maybe thinking if there's a way he can somehow remove the Rex from the board as well. He knows that a Reflection Rex is coming, so see what he plans to do here. Decides to tap all 3 and play Boots of Swiftness. Pays the equip cost and throws them on the Vex. Putting her to 6 might. Back on my turn, considering my options here, I get the hold point to 3. I'm going to trigger LeBlanc, discarding one of my baited hooks to make a Rex Reflection. Let's see if I score here. And then, still considering my options, I know I want to play out the hook this turn, counting my runes out, making sure I have enough to afford everything I want to. Seems like I do, so we're going to play hook out. We are going to pay 1 in a yellow, tap the hook, and we're going to target Rex Reflection here. So we're going to do hook trigger first, look at the top 5. Got some pretty good pulls here, choosing between Watcher and choosing between Dragon. I'm going to opt for Dragon here, playing it to base and targeting the Vex, paying the deflect cost there. And then with Rex Death Knell trigger, I'm targeting the Scuttlecrab as well. So let's wait to see what this Vex does. He's tapped out, so he shouldn't have too much to respond with. Maybe something with the hitting card. Might be thinking about that. And he does. So he reveals Zanya's Hourglass, opting to save his Vex. Makes sense to me. And then he's going to also discard his Scuttlecrab, so I'll reveal my hand for him here. So now I'm considering my options. After hiding the crab vision, I'm considering my options. I've got 5 runes up. I have 2 Vise in hand, so that's probably what I think the current play is. I know if I want to hold the left battlefield, I need to at least put 6 might on it, so that he's forced to play a combat trick on the Vex. Holding with anything less doesn't really make sense. He just gets to clear some of my units for free. So I'm thinking about whether or not I want to try and pull my Vex, or not my Vex, my Rex back to base, just to threaten to push with it on the next turn. It's one of my bigger bodied units. So I'm going to do that with the Vi, using the battlefield trigger to push the Rex back, while also leaving over 6 might on the battlefield. I know I have my other Vi in hand. He doesn't know that. So I still have that combat trick if needed. I don't really mind using Vi just for the 5 might body here. And I'm going to opt to pass turn back to him. Back on his turn, he is going to tap 1. He's going to play Gust, targeting my Sorin Scout. Wants to prevent the rune generation. So now I only have 7 might on the battlefield. He's going to push Vex up 6 into 7. Tap 2 more. Play Discipline, getting him up to 8. So I'll lose both of these guys. Vi dies, Broker dies. I'll get the gold here. He conquers to 4. Or sorry, to 5. 5 more runes up. So still considering his options. Might have a little bit more to play here. So now he is going to tap 1 energy and 1 green power. He's going to play the Charm, targeting my Harnessed Dragon. So moving it into his 8 might Vex, killing it off. Sounds good. I would have targeted the Rex there just because the combat damage resolves before his Death Knell trigger. So he would have been removing the 6 might unit and the unit text rather than forcing me to play with just like a vanilla 6 might unit. Not too sure if he knows how the ordering works there. But he'll do that, remove my unit from board, still has 4 runes up, going to pay an additional power and hide a card. And then finally, he's going to pass turn back to me. So going into my turn, I have 8 runes up. I've got an open battlefield. I've got Hook ready. He has 4 runes up. Could be holding runes up for Not So Fast, possibly. Could be holding runes up for Kha'Zix. A couple other options there. He's going to let me conquer here. I should be at 4. I missed my hold point earlier in the game, but I'm only conquering to 3. Triggering my Leblanc legend, discarding the Scout, getting the Rex copy. Considering my options here, there are multiple ways I could trigger this Rex Death Knell, but the best way is definitely the Hook, just to get the other body out. Targeting the Rex here. It's going to go through, so we'll look at the top 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got a couple options here. I like Rift Herald a lot, so I'm going to choose Rift Herald. I'm going to opt to play him to base. I'm going to opt not to use his Death Knell to target Vex, just because I don't really want to pay the deflect cost here. I'm going to decide to tap 5 and a yellow, playing a Vita base. And then I'm going to pay an additional power to hide this Hidden Blade at the battlefield. This will, help me with the hold for sure. I do not mind giving him additional draw to give myself some point tempo back, but if he chooses to try and do something to my Rex, I can also just kill it for additional draw myself. I know I have these units in base, so having the might is nice, but not a necessity. So back on his turn, he's at 6. He could try and conquer the other battlefield, get to 7, and force me to conquer both, but that's probably not his strategy. Instead, he's going to tap 4 and a purple. Or sorry, 4 and a green. 4 and a green to get Sona on the board. Sounds good to me. And then next, he is going to consider his options here. He's going to move Vex over using the ganking boots, and then also give it a +2 with discipline, so pushing an 8 to my 6. I am going to reveal Hidden Blade, choosing to target my Rex, just because I can target Sona with the Death Knell. Maybe if there was no other units on board, I would have targeted Vex with the Hidden Blade here. I'm waiting to see if he defies it, just to keep his Sona alive. He's thinking about it, considering his options here. Could be pretty important to keep this unit on the board, so gives me the thumbs up. Everything's going to resolve. So Sona will die, Rex will die. I'll draw 2 from the Hidden Blade. And he should conquer to 7 here. Let's see if he gets his conquer point. And then he's also going to reveal Evelyn just to keep the unit on the battlefield. So he does take his conquer point. Looking through his trash right now. In the meantime, he opted to pay 1 power to hide a card at Vex's battlefield. Fine by me. Still considering his options. Going to pay an additional power to hide another card at the other battlefield. I'm assuming. Let's see. Considering maybe which card to hide. And then... So back on my turn. He has 2 runes up, 2 hitting cards. Could be plethora of options. Could be back off for the stun. Could be tide turner for some combat trick. Could be a whole lot. So I'm kind of considering my options here. I think it's important to correctly decide which unit to push in with. I do eventually need to gain control of both battlefields or else he's going to score a hold point here. So definitely want to take my time and make sure I'm making the right decisions. So we can see here, I start to make some actions. I'm going to push Vi into the left battlefield, stunning the Evelyn, passing priority. He is going to reveal an Emperor's Divide, moving his Evelyn to base. Good to me. I get Conquer Point. And then I'm going to opt for Leblanc trigger. I am going to discard the mirror image here. Get the Vi reflection. And then considering my options again, I know that if I do have a back off, if that's a hidden back off, he's going to push my Herald back and I'm going to be in a stickier situation here. So I'm going to opt for hook trigger first just to see if I can find my out with the hook. Either looking for Harness Dragon, Karthus works fine here. So playing my Karthus to base, killing the Vi. So I'm going to opt to tap 6 in the blue, get my Rex to the battlefield, and then additionally I'm going to sacrifice the Rex. Now that I have the Karthus, I can deal 8 to the Vex, killing her. He's going to defy the sacrifice, but that actually only defies the channel and the draw. The killing of the unit is part of a cost to play the card, so the death knell will still happen. So I'm just explaining that to him, letting him know that yes, you defy my ramp, but you don't defy the Rex death. So Rex will die. I paid 2 power there just for each of the 4 damages on the Vex, paying for those deflect costs. And he's just a little bit confused by this interaction, so I'm helping him out, making sure he understands how sacrifice works. Just waiting, discarding the Rex. And he chooses to accept the interaction here, meaning that he's going to kill his Vex off, dies from the Death Knell triggers. Boots will go back to base here, and then his hidden card could be a unit. We're waiting to see. It was a back off, so it just fizzles and goes to discard. Now that the battlefield is clear, I get to push my Rift Herald in. I get move trigger. So showing these 3, choosing between Karthus and Thousand Tailed. I want Thousand Tailed here. I already have 1 Karthus on board, and this Thousand Tailed is going to be good for helping close out the game, especially since I saw one earlier in the game and chose to recycle it. So I know that this is the last one that I might see. And then after that, I am going to pass to him, and let's see what he does. So here, the Vex is considering their options. They're at 7, I'm at 5. They know I can't win next turn. They're just going to opt to play a couple units to their base here, knowing that I won't be able to win next turn, and then they'll pass to me. Starting off my turn here, I have a lot of options. I only have 6 runes, but it's not a big deal. I can create a lot of might with Leblanc and her reflection shenanigans. So I'm just kind of considering the line that I'd like to do. I know that I want to use Leblanc trigger off of hold here. So deciding what to discard. Choosing to discard the bird. Tapping Leblanc, getting the reflection token. Making sure I haven't scored any points yet. So I'm scoring up to 7. And now I'm thinking about how I want to play this. I probably want to stack all my might onto one battlefield just because I know I need the hold, and then that also forces my opponent into a position where he has to double conquer. Um, I'm thinking about how I want to do this. I'm going to tap one in a yellow, target the Rift Herald with the baited hook. Should go through, gives me the thumbs up. I'm going to do hook trigger here. Find some pretty good options. I'm going to opt to pull dragon. And then I'm going to use the dragon ability to target the shadow. Shouldn't have anything to stop that. Yeah, so it dies. And then Rift Herald dies. So I get Death Knell trigger. I get hide one yellow rune, playing my Rift Herald to base. And then I could do an additional one. Let's see if I do. Yeah, so I opt to play the Watcher out and then pay the accelerate cost. Because I have to play it from base. To base with the Herald Death Knell trigger, so this is a way for me to get the unit up on the battlefield since I need the hold here. And just kind of considering my options here, choosing to push the Karthus up to the battlefield as well. And then also opting to pay 3 and 2 power for a mirror image. I'm going to target my Rift Herald, duplicating it and playing it to base here. I'm fully tapped out, which is pretty funny. I guess I have 1 floating energy left. Using the Rift Herald move trigger, I'm searching for some options. 2 big body units, I can't really do anything about them. I won't be able to play them since I've just burnt all my runes. So the only way for me to play it is off of Rift Herald Death Knell trigger. Possibly, no, I won't even, because if I get to my next turn, I probably win the game. So I guess I just opt for the dragon. Not really too sure what my thought process was behind that. And then I'm passing turn over to the Vex, and he's just going to call GG. So, yep, that was one game of Leblanc and the Vex here. If you're still here, thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I plan to post more Leblanc / Riftbound gameplay, so please follow along if you're interested. Have a nice day.